Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing? I'm live. It's about 6 o'clock this morning. We're on Central Time here, and so just got up. If you can see the sun kind of starting to come over here. Live in Destin, Florida. So I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I know some of you are just getting up. Some of you will see this live, or some of it live, or we'll see it later on the replay. But I kind of have a couple of confessions to make that I wanted to talk about. And so, I never understood how beautiful it is here. I grew up going vacationing in South Carolina beaches. I'm from upstate South Carolina, and they're amazing. They're beautiful in their own way and in their own right. And so I'm not trying to compare beaches or whatever, compare destinations. But I've never seen beaches white like this, or I've never seen ocean this clear. I mean, just look at that. I mean, that is unbelievable. The water is so clear here. I mean, you can literally see. You can see your feet. The water is so clear. It's unbelievable. So it's really, really neat. So it kind of got me thinking. I underestimated how beautiful it is here in the Gulf, because people would always tell me. I grew up vacationing in places like Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head Island, Charleston, South Carolina. People say, "Oh, you got to go to the Gulf Coast. You got to go to the Gulf Coast. The beaches are just so white there, it looks like snow. You can swim in water and see your feet, when it comes up to your waist." And so I underestimated that, didn't really think much of it, and so I got here and I was like, wow, people were right. It's even more beautiful than people explain. And so it kind of got me thinking about heaven, because I think heaven is the same way. I think we underestimate what heaven's going to be like. Now I have another confession to make. Heaven is not something that I have preached on or written on or taught on that much. There's no specific reason for that. Growing up, I heard a lot of messages and sermons on heaven. And it's just not something that I've spent a lot of time talking about. And the Bible spends a considerable amount of time talking about it. There's no reason for that. I always want my messages to be kind of an outpouring of where my heart is and what God's teaching me. And something I'm passionate about is what it means. It's kind of the kingdom now, God's kingdom now, living for Jesus now, loving people now, or honoring God now, being the hands and feet of Christ now. So I guess the future glory, what we'll experience when we're in heaven, I guess kind of got left out, not intentionally, but that's just kind of what happened. So God kind of led me to want to just talk about heaven a little bit, because just like I underestimated how beautiful the beaches can be here until I got here, I think we have completely underestimated what heaven's going to be like. I know, the Bible talks a good bit about heaven. Jesus said, he goes to prepare a place for us. If Jesus is actually preparing a place, he's actually spending time preparing a place, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think we can only imagine, no pun intended, I know the song. I think that's pretty cool. And the Apostle Paul even wrote about heaven when he actually had a chance to see heaven. Now, I can't imagine what that experience would be like. And Paul even said, I saw things that I can't even write down. He actually said, look, what I saw, it's so amazing and so unbelievably awesome. I can't even pen the words. So I think we're in store for some really, really cool stuff. And there have been books that have speculated what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like. People have speculated. And I think really that kind of does a disservice. Because I don't think what our eyes have seen here as far as earthly beauty and earthly glory, what we see when we get to heaven, I think it's going to surpass that times a number that I can't. But if I were to try to put a number on it, I think it would not do it justice, and I think it would kind of undermine the glory of God for me to try to see. I think heaven's going to be a 10 or a 20, or, I don't want to do that. But I think it is okay to kind of just say, to just kind of sit back and close our eyes and imagine the most beautiful thing that we could ever imagine on this earth. Heaven will surpass that in ways that we could never fathom. And I got to thinking about this. I heard a pastor say very recently, talking about the streets of gold. We have hymns written about the streets of gold. We hear preachers talk about the streets of gold. He said this, and I'd never considered this. He said, think about it. What is the most valuable thing that people on earth seem to find? For the most part. Monetary things, material wealth, right? I mean, gold is something that people here on earth, people have killed over gold. People have backstabbed people over gold. I mean, gold is the most valuable thing that most people spend their entire lives trying to earn and trying to achieve on this earth. And once again, nothing wrong with making a living, nothing wrong with having money, but it is, for the most part, an idol here. And gold is that which historically has caused a lot of things. But when we get to heaven, the Bible talks about streets of gold, and I think there's some really cool symbolism there. The gold will be what the streets are paved in. That's what we will walk on. So I'm thinking, what we as humans find the most valuable here, that we spend our entire lives trying to achieve, that's what we will walk on. That is what our feet will step on when we're in heaven. Which means the most valuable thing here on this earth, that is what it is compared to the glory of God. That when we are in the presence of Jesus and in the glory in heaven, we will walk on what's most valuable here. Now, I don't know about you all, but I think that will preach a little bit. I don't know, this morning that's just kind of got me really thinking about what heaven's going to be like. And you know, heaven's going to be great. I can't imagine the things we'll see there. I can only imagine the things we'll do there. But when we come face to face with Jesus, that's what's really going to matter when we get to heaven. Is actually being in the presence of Jesus. You know, I hear people, you know, I've had skeptics try to mock me and say, well, what are you going to do up there for all eternity, Trey? And, you know, over the years, I've probably not answered that question at best. A lot of times that question just makes me angry because I know they're just trying to antagonize me. And I've not always answered that best. But, you know, I don't think we're going to care. I don't think we're going to have a concept of time. I think we're going to be so overwhelmed by the fact that we're in the presence of the Son of God, that we're in the presence of the lily of the valley, the presence of the Lion of Judah, the presence of the Lamb of God. We're in the presence of His glory. And in His presence, that He's there and we can actually see Him, see Jesus face to face. And I don't think we're going to really care. I don't think we're going to have a concept of time. I think we're just going to, I mean, I can imagine if there was a concept of time, the first 10,000 years, we would just eat dirt. And I'm being very serious. We would just eat dirt. It's like, I'm not even worthy to even be here, but you allow me to be here. So I'm just going to bury my face at your feet for right now, and I'm just going to kind of take in the fact that I get to be beside you, and that you're in front of me, and that you love me, and that you allow me to be here. And I'm just going to kind of eat the rocks, eat the dirt for a little bit. You just carry on. I'm just going to worship and weep at your feet. Like, that is what I imagine heaven to be like. And I think we have a lot to look forward to. You know, many of you right now, as you're watching this, you're facing some tough times. I mean, many of you are facing sickness in your family. Maybe you have a spouse or a child. I mean, I know people now that children are facing just illnesses, serious illnesses. Many of you are facing marital problems. You're facing problems with your children, behavior problems, and you just feel like you're stuck in a rut and you don't know what to do. And you look around and you feel like everybody else has it all together, and you're like, you know, God, I don't have it all together. I don't know what to do. You know, maybe you're facing joblessness, or I don't know what you have going on, but I just want to encourage you as believers. We have a lot to look forward to. We do. God has saved the best for last. The greatest things we could ever see or experience here don't even compare to the glory that God has waiting for us. And I think the symbolism that we will walk on the streets of gold, what we find most valuable here is what we will walk on there, shows that compared to the glory of God, we haven't seen anything yet. This is just a taste of God's goodness. This is God's creation. We do get a glimpse of God's glory here on earth, but it's nothing compared to what we'll see for eternity. So I just want you to be encouraged with that today. To know that you're the apple of His eye. God loves you. And He's preparing some great things for you. So just stay close to Him. Love you guys, and I will catch you guys later.